Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast, everyone. The subject of discussion today is one that many of us can relate to: decrease of muscle after age 60. It surprises you. You get to your feet more slowly. You have a slight weakness in your legs. You no longer consider climbing the stairs to be a hassle. However, today's visitor is a living example of how muscle may be maintained, even restored, long after most people have given up. Despite being over a century old, he continues to work, walk, treat patients, write, lecture, and wake up with a purpose, making him the oldest active doctor in Japan. Welcome return, Dr. Shigeyaki Hinohara. How are you still this strong at your age, I must ask? John, thank you. Always enjoyable. And let me tell you, most people believe that in order to get muscle after the age of 60, you must go to the gym, lift big weights, or use certain supplements. However, I've often seen that the true secret lies in diet rather than activity in Japan's healthiest elderly. A trainer is not necessary for you. A routine is not necessary. When it comes to the timing of your meals and how they support the deeper systems that keep your body robust, you need rhythm. Therefore, in spite of the title, today's episode is about more than one miraculous element. In actuality, there are 5 foods that help seniors grow muscle without exercising. However, one dish, one amazing component, stands out above the others. The one that covers practically everything your body requires and, in my opinion, makes the biggest difference. Be sure to stay tuned when we release that final one. That's right. I have consumed these meals for decades, even though they are not advised. They do more than merely maintain power. They defend individuality. They maintain mental acuity, promote balance, and lower the chance of injury. Patients in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s have regained their confidence in my clinic. They ate more intelligently, not because they worked out more. Muscle is more than just a hard appearance. It's about feeling stable, being able to walk fearlessly, get out of a chair, and carry your groceries. All of that is supported by these foods. And that's the true objective beyond 60. Function-based freedom? You're only stating the facts. I can't wait to hear what you have in store for us today. Let's get started. Which one is the first? First on the list is fermented soy, particularly natto. It is unknown to most Westerners. It smells a little strange, and it's stringy and sticky. However, in Japan, natto is one of the most effective foods for protecting muscles. It has natto kinase, a special enzyme that promotes circulation and is necessary for supplying muscle cells with nutrition. Additionally, it has a lot of vitamin K2, which helps calcium reach the bones rather than the arteries. However, its whole protein profile is the true secret. All 9 essential amino acids are present in natto, unlike the majority of plant diets. Additionally, this is revolutionary for older adults who frequently have trouble digesting larger proteins. Probiotics, which are good bacteria that help with digestion and improve nutrient absorption, are also abundant in natto. These bacteria make everything you eat work harder for your body. Although it takes some getting accustomed to, the advantages outweigh the feel. I know some elderly Japanese people who are in their 90s and still eat natto for breakfast every day of their lives. It's fascinating. Isn't it fermented as well? So it's also beneficial to the gut? In fact, improved absorption is correlated with intestinal health. And that's important because even the best meals in the world won't help you if your digestion is poor. That's a really straightforward yet effective concept. A lot of individuals concentrate on what they eat rather than how their bodies utilize it. For many older folks, gut health may be the missing piece. Furthermore, the notion that a sticky, peculiar-smelling bean can accomplish so much alters my perspective on eating. Try it once, give it a good toss, and then add soy sauce or mustard. It's a minor reward for long-lasting power, but it's an acquired taste. Thus, natto comes first. What are you planning to do next? Sardines, or any little oily fish, come in second. Omega-3 fatty acids, which are abundant in them, lower inflammation and promote protein synthesis, the process by which new muscle is actually formed. Calcium and vitamin D, which are essential for strong bones, are also found in sardines. Sardines are safe to consume frequently because, in contrast to larger fish, they have minimal mercury levels. Elders in Japan frequently have a couple slices of grilled sardines for breakfast, but over time, it affects not only muscle tone, but also coordination, balance, and even brain health. Additionally, sardines contain CoQ10, a vitamin that promotes mitochondrial activity and improves cellular energy. Additionally, they contain selenium, a trace mineral that is essential for antioxidant protection and is frequently absent in older persons. As a result, there will be less soreness from everyday activities, improved healing, and increased immunity, and people tend to forget about balance. Staying upright is more important than strength alone. I, too, think that Energy Point is fantastic. Many elderly people experience fatigue, and perhaps it goes beyond simply getting enough sleep. Perhaps it has to do with energy production at the cell level. Of course, strong muscles provide protection. Omega-3 fatty acids help maintain an attentive neurological system, which is essential for coordination, and they also prevent falls. A component of that equation is energy. You get the building blocks and the ability to use them from sardines. For years, eating one tiny can of sardines 2 or 3 times a week can help build brain and muscular resilience. That is crucial, and I will undoubtedly advise my patients to incorporate it into their weekly routines. Tell me about the third item on your list now. One of my personal favorites is seaweed. Seaweed may sound strange, but it's a silent force. Magnesium, iodine, potassium, and other minerals that are necessary for muscular contraction and recuperation are abundant in it. Additionally, seaweed promotes thyroid health, which controls metabolism. Additionally, maintaining lean mass depends on a healthy metabolism. Additionally, it is abundant in polysaccharides and antioxidants, which are substances that support healthy gut flora and lessen inflammation. That's 2 wins in 1. More buildup, less breakdown. Additionally, seaweed aids in the regulation of hormones, especially those related to energy and muscular tone. It has anti-aging and anti-inflammatory properties and is surprisingly adaptable. It can be soaked and eaten on its own or added to salads and soups. You say seaweed is extremely restorative, but I've always thought of it as decoration. Yes, and I'm coming to a realization. Not all of the things you've said so far are superfoods. It has a meaningful purpose in the diet and is accompanied by tradition and rhythm. Seaweed is basic, but it's not really showy. Exactly, and seaweed covers important dietary gaps for older folks, particularly those who don't eat much of the variety. It is all natural, strong, and gentle. Your thyroid, which powers your metabolism, adores it, and there are no negative effects or changes required. Okay, we have seaweed, sardines, and natto. Let's go on to the fourth. Sesame seeds come in at number 4. These are little yet powerful. Sesame seeds promote joint and muscle health because they are high in calcium, magnesium, and good fats. Additionally, they include sesame, a substance that helps balance hormones and detoxify the liver, particularly in older persons. Additionally, lignans, natural substances that lower oxidative stress, the type of damage that causes muscles to age more quickly, and plant-based protein are abundant in sesame seeds. Additionally, adding them to anything is simple. Simply grind and sprinkle for salads, grains, and stir-fried. You may also add ground sesame to warm porridge or incorporate it into miso paste. Because it nourishes joints, tendons, and the tissues that hold you together, it promotes mobility and has a moderate flavor with long-lasting benefits. I've never heard of that before. Although I've used sesame oil, I've never given the seeds any thought. We don't hear much about the concept of slowing down muscle aging at the cellular level, but it makes perfect sense. Whole seeds provide nutrients and fiber. When used sparingly, the oil is also beneficial, but the seeds are more cost-effective, particularly when ground fresh. Among the most neglected, they are also among the simplest to add. Every mouthful is a preventative measure. I support that type of daily medication. And now we're at the fifth, the one for which I and everyone else have been waiting. You mentioned that most people are surprised. What is it? It's harsh, but sweet. It can be roasted, mashed, baked, mashed, and combined with milk, butter, or spices. I'm referring to Okinawan sweet potatoes, particularly the purple variety. These are high in antioxidants, fiber, and complex carbohydrates. More significantly, though, they are easy on the stomach and support stable blood sugar, both of which are essential for muscle healing. Beta-carotene and anthocyanins, which are substances that combat oxidative stress and inflammation, are also found in sweet potatoes. They safeguard the cells that produce energy in addition to providing it to you. Seniors can feel content without overeating, thanks to their assistance in regulating the hormones leptin and ghrelin, which govern hunger and fullness. They are incredibly fulfilling. Elderly people in Japan often eat them cold as a noon snack or cooked with a bit sea salt. They help elders maintain a healthy weight without feeling deprived, plus they're delicious and grounding. Sweet potatoes' resistant starch also supports beneficial gut flora, generating a positive feedback loop that aids in immunity, digestion, and recuperation. They are also quite adaptable. You can eat them by themselves or with fish, tofu, or greens. They are an unsung hero of lifespan because of their capacity to satiate, nourish, and stabilize energy. I adore that. Sweet potatoes have always been comfort food to me, but you've just reframed them as a combination of stomach, brain, and muscle fuel. Of course, carbs can be one of the most beneficial things for aging bodies if they are chosen and taken at the right moment. Numbers don't matter. It has to do with the message that the food conveys. Sweet potatoes tell you that you can rebuild and that you are safe. That's such a novel viewpoint since older folks are frequently advised to reduce their carbohydrate intake, follow a low-calorie diet, and eat less, which leads to them unintentionally undernutrition. There is no deficit in muscle growth. They develop in harmony. Additionally, I believe you are rephrasing the discussion for a large audience. Cutting isn't the point. It all comes down to selecting foods that complement the body rather than contradict it. That's right. In Japan, natto, sardines, seaweed, sesame seeds, and sweet potatoes are not considered unusual cuisine. Elders have been able to stay strong, nimble, and agile into their 90s and beyond thanks to these essentials: nature, rhythm, and consistency. No gym, no protein supplements. So strong. Where should someone who is listening start if they could only make one change this week before we close? Have breakfast first. Include one of these items in your breakfast. Perhaps a tiny piece of grilled salmon or a spoonful of powdered sesame seeds. Let that serve as a conscious reminder to your body that you are strengthening yourself. Take a seat, take a deep breath, chew your food carefully, and make it a healing ritual. Our elders flourish in Japan because that is how we eat. Do you have any last remarks, Dr. Hinohara? Have breakfast first. Include one of these items in your breakfast. Perhaps a tiny piece of grilled salmon or a spoonful of powdered sesame seeds. Let that serve as a conscious reminder to your body that you are strengthening yourself. Take a seat, take a deep breath, chew your food carefully, and make it a healing ritual. Our elders flourish in Japan because that is how we eat.